Sceptre Radio Network. Internet radio uncensored, unconstrained, and unleashed. Where sometimes the questions are more dangerous than the answers.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And so much of our powers in this world and the way things work are hidden. And the more one looks at this subject of how the world actually works, you begin to see that there's a magical system, and I'm telling you, there really is a magical system dominating the world of the Western civilization.
You are listening to an episode of The Tom and Jerry Show. And now, your hosts, Tommy Hansen and Jerry Avalos.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Tommy and Jerry Show. We have an interesting guest today, to say the least. We're trying to get a hold of him right now, and so if you hear the phones in the background, that's us trying to get a hold of him here. And but a very, how would you say, unique quantum scientist, you can say. Well, who isn't a philosophical scientist? He is the applied scientist, really. So what we're talking about here isn't stuff that's coming in the future. It's stuff that's here pretty much now. And the cool thing about now is that in a lot of ways it's being debuted in this fashion, pretty much under the full light of day. So we're seeing if we could get a hold of him, and we're punching the numbers here, and I don't know, Tommy, how you got? How you feeling today? Tommy, feeling confident?
Oh, always confident, feeling free, confident, all that. Of course, I'm fixing it as usual. So hopefully, I should be able to sort out this call very soon. But yeah, no, things have been happening lately. So I guess while we're waiting, we can give a little bit of an update in terms of what's been going on.
Okay, wait a second. Hey, Anthony. Anthony, cut for a second.
No.
All right. What'll happen is we're gonna restart that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to restart the whole thing.
So
No.
Okay, what's going on here, people? We're confused.
Okay. All right. Well, we're rolling. It's awesome. We're still trying here. We're having the phone going. Doing our best to get things happening. We're thankful for the interjection of our producer there.
Right, I think we're gonna line here.
We got something. Hold on. Yeah.
Hey man, this is Lydian Labs, man.
Yeah, is this? We're trying to get a hold of Thunder.
Who's this?
This is Jerry. This is Jerry of the Tommy and Jerry shows, Sceptre Radio Network. It's we're trying to get a hold of Thunder. He's our guest today.
Oh, wow, man. Hey, Thunder, man, they got the Tom and Jerry shows here, man. They want to talk to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we could
maybe, who are we talking to right now?
Tom, give me my phone. Yeah. Who is? Hello?
Hello? Hey. Thunder, is that you?
Hey, it's me, Thunder.
Awesome. Great. We got
Tommy,
you.
go out back, smoke.
Yeah, not Norwegian Tommy. Norwegian Tommy is here and present. But now we have our guest present, too, none other than Thunder Whitecloud. How's it going, Thunder?
Hey, it's going good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Right on.
So, yeah, this is really cool to have Thunder here because, quick personal interjection, zany intro aside, we like to have fun with what we do here, and the fun thing about what Thunder does is hypothetically, metaphorically, he is bringing the thunder with these new holographic products that he's presenting. And now we've seen some holographs and holograms in different ways, shapes, and forms in the alternative media and the different conferences and stuff, Steve. But the main difference with these is, well, they work. And how do I know they work? Well, I had a chance to test pilot some of these things, and they're freaking amazing. So without me giving away or stealing the thunder, so to speak, is there anything you really wanted to start with?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I met you about a year ago or so.
It's getting there.
At the time, I don't do a lot of interviews. I was approached by you guys at the time, and hey, when I heard you guys were off on your own, I'm like, awesome. Be happy to sit down and talk to you. So that's what you asked me what I've been up to lately. I go, well, since I last spoke to you, I went some crazy directions, and I know that back then when we were talking, it was some advanced stuff, but tonight it's just mind blowing what we can. So sit back, enjoy the show, because what we're going to talk about tonight is what it's not really sci-fi anymore. It's Wi-Fi ingredients, and that's what we're bringing now via text messaging on cell phone services. We can literally send any. The science is called epigenetics. It's the science of moving energy from one place to another. We've been able to now attach quantum pulse energy to text messages and have your phone as the delivery finished product delivered right to your home with no inventory or no waiting around for shipping. So tonight you guys have a shot at a chance to firsthand see this amazing stuff.
Yeah. And this is it's interesting because I think it's a unique experience kind of being involved with this right here, because a lot of times in this arena we have so many people postulating for the future, but here it is now, and I think even hearing that now, I think so many people will be like, wait, what did he say? Is he's going to send me a text message that does what? So like what are some of the things that could be used for, you could say?
We got some fun things, but the most important one is EMF radiation. It took many years and many scientists, and they came to a conclusion that took me, 8 years ago, about 30 seconds to go, yeah. No, my kids do not, they don't use cell phones. Those things are far too dangerous for children, and that was my opinion back then. Today we're happy to say that we have a very unique way of altering the signal that is coming off of the frequency of the EMF, and we divert it to a different dimension, so to speak. So we offset it so it no longer affects those cancer-causing carcinogen cell phones that they are to the neurons of the brain. So we block it and shield, so to speak. It's a good alternative to, and certainly cheaper than, the big C word.
That's very true, but that is very fascinating. It's something that's very much needed, especially considering how many wireless devices there are in this time and age. I mean, in this room alone, it's like probably just a big hazy cloud of EMF radiation right here.
Oh,
yeah. So, but in terms of the holograms, you have that, but that one is kind of hard for the kind of doubters to kind of really see and feel, in terms of how, like, does it work or does it not? I have to take your word for it. But you also have some that are very practical.
Right. We have one that's for fuel. It's great. It's a wonderful. It's practical in the way for showing how incredibly effective and efficient our technology truly is. We can text message you a text that you hold your phone next to a fuel tank, and within minutes you actually see the toxic, hazardous fumes coming out of the exhaust that actually turn into like a dryer vent on the side of a home. A real pleasant, wet, clean smell. And we've had these tested at California Environmental Engineering Lab, and they had never seen anything in 30 years that reduced diesel more than 2 or 3%. We crushed it out our first try, almost 40% on our first 2 tests. And they were dumbfounded. They were like, there's no moving parts. You just put a sticker on the gas tank. Or you can actually just text message it to your phone. Your telephone now becomes the sticker, and you hold it next to the fuel tank.
Yeah, and am I correct by saying the way that works is the hologram in essence is piggybacking off the EMF waves? Or please explain how this actually works in terms of from a cell phone.
Well, like a Wi-Fi. Think of it like that. Think of it like Bluetooth. Think of it like that. Your phone now is, with our text messaging systems, when they are put on your wallpaper, for instance, that image is being broadcast around your phone, giving you your protection that, these things are harming people. This protection allows them to withstand those harmful EMF pulses. Then we also have a battery boost that makes the battery last longer. So, I mean, that's another practical use in the efficiency that we see this technology going.
Absolutely. And Jerry, you had a chance to test that specific hologram on your phone. How would you tell everybody about that?
Well, actually, the cool thing is I had a chance to test not only the battery one, but I've tested the fuel text, actually. Not even the sticker, the text. And so just kind of start from the first to the second. The first one with the gas text, we had made a trip to meet over at LAX, and for me that's a good half-hour drive with no traffic. And I got a good idea of what it takes for me to get fuel-wise to get there. And so I saw how much we got there to get there, basically, and then before we went back, Thunder treated the gas tank, or had me treat the gas tank by holding his cell phone up to the tank for a little while, maybe a couple minutes, something like that. And when we started, we immediately saw the RPMs start idling lower, but the whole thing is the compression stayed just perfect. I mean, the engine sounded great. And then I noticed that it took considerably less gas to get back home than it did to get over there with same comparable traffic conditions. So that was really interesting on first observation. I've been making further since then. But then with the battery, now that was the fun one because we had a face-to-face meeting in the early afternoon, and I just happened to be browsing. I was happened to be browsing new batteries to buy for my phone because it wouldn't stay charged for more than 6 to 8 hours, depending on the usage and what was going on. And definitely couldn't leave it charging overnight or leave it uncharged overnight if I hope to use it in the morning. And so there I was at this meeting just before they walked in, browsing some new batteries, and we start talking about different things. And one way or another, I get the product on my cell phone screensaver wall, and so from that point on, I didn't have to charge my phone for another good 48 hours, if not longer, with probably heavier usage than the average day-to-day that I had experiencing the 6 to 8 hours. So it was a significant market difference there, a good 300, 400, 500% output increase all of a sudden. So my understanding, I guess the effect can kind of vary, but either way, it's, as we know, using the PDAs, our cell phones, our tablets and such, eking out any little battery life is awesome. So, and the fact that this thing can have an effect by just being a wallpaper essentially is pretty profound. And this is why, in the beginning, how I introed this as applied quantum mechanics, because that's an application of these principles. Or would you say that's kind of like an entanglement example or something, or what is that?
It's a quantum tunneling. Yeah, very good.
But quick, how long did it take you to charge your phone?
To recharge it?
Yeah,
I would say it took significantly less. I would say a good 30 to 45% less time to charge. I've noticed. Since multiple charges now, since it's been a handful of days better since there. So.
Faster.
Yeah, and actually I've been using it way heavy now, and I'm confident about the battery. There's no way I would be like doing the data stuff and all this other crap too much when I was out before if I wanted to use that phone for anything, including a text. You know what I mean? So now it's like Jerry.
Yeah, the funny fact too is that I kind of overvolted Jerry's phone because I customized it, so it's actually using more power than it should be, and even still, the battery is lasting for that long. For me, being the guy who messed with it in the first place, that's completely unheard of. So that's amazing. So yeah, and it's extremely interesting for me, and most people might know me as a tech head, so you can kind of see me like all shivering with excitement here.
Yeah,
yeah. And also, am I right by saying that this doesn't only go for phones? This can be used on tablets, laptops, and everything, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's this will all be ready here quite soon. Tonight, I'm happy to introduce our marketing partner and have them talk more about the product. I just wanted to let you guys know that we're out there doing a wonderful job. We have for almost a decade, and we got some. This is an exciting time to release the world's most exciting technology. The great thing about it is it's what I consider text messaging is our most advanced technology. It is the true wireless epigenetic source that we've been looking for. It's the ability to move energy from one place to another. We've just been able to be a little more clever by adding on a unique frequency resonance to our text messaging that cause your phone to do almost miracle things out of the body. It makes all your beverages taste different. It just great things that we're developing. We see so many platforms that we're getting involved with. So get up to the website, look at what they have. There's some exciting things that the marketing company is going to be doing, and I'll sit around for a host of questions later on.
Yeah, definitely. And what's interesting, I think, about this once again is that the reason why we're even presenting things like this, almost like a marketing show, is the fact that, okay, this works and it can change the world. That's pretty much why. It's like, I don't say that very easily either. But like some of these things that we're seeing, these quantum applications of how do RPMs dip but the output increase? What is going on there? Those are those interesting conundrums that science has led us to this point, especially those avid researchers and fans of these kinds of alternative shows know that we've heard all the theories and all this other stuff, but here's the actual application in work right now, and we're here to help get that out because it will change things. And there's a lot of benefits, as just got into a little bit, but I'm sure everyone's minds are probably already going every which way about what could possibly this could be applied towards. But I think also at this point, I think a lot of people will be wondering, how the hell did you come up with this?
Yeah, it was something that I looked at years ago when I had different resonant vibrations that were going in crystal work, and some great physicists like the great Dr. Fred Bell. His work at Paradigm was the introduction, I guess. What compelled me and drove me to this point today. Patience along with practicality. Just looking at what has to be done and formulating a solution based on that need to execute with the text messaging services. It allows us to have kind of a unique telecommunications story.
Yeah, cool. All right, we'll continue with the backstory when we get back from the break here on Sceptre Radio Network.
Okay, awesome.
You are listening to an episode of The Tom and Jerry Show. And now, your hosts, Tommy Hansen and Jerry Avalos.
And we're back to Tom and Jerry Show. We have none other than Thunder Whitecloud here with us. And as a scientist, how would you describe yourself real quick?
Very optimistic that our planet is fine.
And you're not too into theoretic science, are you?
No, I'm not really a theoretical thinker. I'm applied scientist. We just create things that work.
There we go, applied scientist.
I
Everybody.
really don't know why. We just do.
So before the break, we were talking about EMF, among other things. But could you elaborate more on the EMF part of your work and how you counter those negative effects?
Here's a really disturbing thought for any pregnant moms that may be out there this evening listening. Fall asleep with your cell phone on your baby, on your belly, and just really think about what you're doing. Otherwise, keep those cell phones away from your kids and your stomach. They're not very good. We can start there. Let's give our kids some hope. So, as a father, there's 5.6 billion cell phones on the planet. They seem to be added to the list of dangerous carcinogens to our body, right up there with the microwave and gasoline emissions. So I started looking at those things as a potential problem, and created the solutions for them for the world to enjoy.
Interesting. So I know, I guess, kind of answered one of my questions, but kind of in part. But the other one was, what was your background to get into this kind of quantum science? Like, where did you start from that? Like, how did you even get into science to begin with?
Growing up as a farm kid in the Midwest, that's where science began. Advanced farm methods that our family pioneered and created. I left that and went into satellite communication engineering. Wired up, a lot of systems out there, and satellites, phone systems. And then I got into reverse engineering. Studied that field for many years, and started consulting on my own, and started manufacturing a unique technology, which I consider a discovery and not an invention. It's kind of like fire. You just don't patent stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's appreciative in this audience, especially because I know a lot of the skeptics are like, well, if it's so cool, why don't you try changing the world? But I know you already do your altruistic endeavors and kind of your gifting, as I guess it's commonly called, in this arena. And I know how obviously the EMF thing, that's a big one. But speaking of gifting, though, because I know the other thing that people are thinking, it's like, okay, if this is happening now, where the hell can I get some? So, and as well as I know you guys had some ideas concerning studies, actually, if the audience wants to be involved with that. So
yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Great. Thank you. That was the main thing. That Epso Factor tonight is the marketing company that we're excited on our private label, and we want to collect data for them. We want to. We're willing to offer out our technology to anybody to track this on your vehicle. A couple things that we need: the make, model, how many miles it has, and what your normal travel time is to and from work each week, along with a within approximate miles to the gallon. If you have a smog report recently, please send that over. That would be awesome. We can then do a follow-up show with you guys here in a few weeks with all of the audience's feedback, and show an overwhelming case study of thousands of people that have an increase in their fuel economy, but more importantly, and the most importantly, is that there is a decrease to zero emissions coming out of their vehicle.
That's awesome.
Because that's what the technology is designed to be.
Very cool, very cool. So yeah, all the listeners here at Sceptre Radio Network, I'm sure we'll have that conveniently linked up for you guys to participate in this case study, and you'll see for yourself. And speaking of which, this is a cool time to bring up this anecdote, because you did a demonstration on Coast to Coast, correct?
Correct, yeah. Many years ago.
Yeah, and how'd that go?
It blew the doors off it. We took a couple of glasses of water, and we had one drop in temperature. Just two glasses of water sitting in a room side by side should be the same temperature. But we showed a 9-degree differential. I did the same experiment. I pulled that off up at Las Vegas at one of the major casinos. What we did there is we had their engineers with laser thermometers test the walls, ceiling, floor vents, and doors. And then we went outside. I went across the street, brought in some of the size of a quarter. I had it attached to the back of one of their poker chips. I walked in and threw it on the floor. The entire building dropped 12 degrees in under 4 minutes. They had never seen anything like it. The vents dropped from a 64 to a 69 temperature range to all of them coming out in the upper 40s, 48, 49.
That's awesome.
4 minutes time to cool 79 square acres of a casino is unheard of in power. We can save money in all aspects. We can take transients out of your walls. You simply apply these devices to, it's a sticker, it's like a postage stamp. Apply it to the breaker box. Shut the door. It's user friendly. We jokingly say that even the soccer moms, including the blonde ones, can install this product. It's very simple, very easy, friendly. And that's what our technology is. Simple. Yet very, people use the word subtle energy. There's nothing subtle about our profound stuff.
Like that. That's pretty good. That should be coined and marketed right there, actually. But yeah, it is. It sounds like too good to be true. It's very extraordinary. So yeah, extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence, and so that's why we're hoping we can reach more people to demonstrate this product, see for themselves, and be able to say.
Get these coasters. Go up online and check these things out. You'll see them there. These things. What'd you put on yours the other day?
I've put in water and Diet Coke. I mean, some of the gnarliest of gnarly, right? And
that's an extreme.
Yeah,
I'm having my frappuccino on it right now, actually.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's interesting because the flavor, well, actually the acidic flavors mainly,
it's gone.
They're gone. And it's interesting because
word.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, like yesterday you mentioned the Diet Coke. We were noticing how on the outside of because this is like from one of the fast food places. So basically, they have these plastic kind of containers for the soda. So it was standing on the coaster, and I was looking at it because usually Jerry's cat likes to kind of come up there and like lick the water vapor off the outside of it.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it, and I'm like, wait, this barely had like any vapor coming off it. The cat was like standing there like, huh? Like, where's my vapor, yo? It's like, it's gone. And I'm like, and I commented to Jerry, and Jerry looks over at his, and he's like, yeah, there's just like almost nothing.
Yeah, it's true.
Take 2 dog dishes, okay? Put the same dog food in both dishes, and put that plate under one of them, and see which one the dog goes to every time.
We'll have to do that with the cat.
Yeah. I guess we have our first...
There's
your first guinea pig. I've done science for a long time, and most of the easy, practical things that we've come up with that are simple to demonstrate around the house.
Yeah.
We came up, because you're in your home. Where can we assist our foolish, wasting Americans that we are? How can we save and assist in energy costs? So primarily, I'm an environmentalist, and you're right. I did a show on Coast. I don't do a lot of interviews. I've taken the Eddie Vedder approach in Pearl Jam not to do them. But this is a cause that's it's world history, and this is the type of market that needs to understand one thing. We can take down a subculture. You can take down the entire culture. I believe in taking down the subculture. The culture has to follow suit.
Yeah, true. And thank you for coming on the show here with us, Sceptre Radio Network, good old Tommy and Jerry show, because I know these are rare appearances. Because I think that's the thing about these whole products and the science that Thunder has been applying is that it is that good. It is that kind of stuff that people get shooty, stabby, poisony over because they're like you could potentially destroy our market. And, NSA says you present a potential threat to the security of the financial thing, which is a security threat to everyone. That kind of bullshit. So that's why we actually do need help here. Really, so everyone can actually have this too. So that's the reason you got the case study thing. Because then it becomes apparent that when someone tries to stop it, it's like, oh, here's someone helping people for a nominal price just to keep things going, and you're shutting them down. Oh, I wonder what your intentions are. So the more that happens, the more change happens that we get to see really what for ourselves and share it with others. So it's going to be really cool. Thank you, really for coming on the show too.
Absolutely.
Let me be the one to introduce Jen Martinez, who's just done a dynamic role in implementing most of the marketing for their alternative fuels and their contribution for the last 5 years out there trying to clean up these skies and pollution. So it was right up what our company felt was worthy of what it took to understand our technology and integrate with them and have her answer some of the questions, answer a lot of the, and explain what the products are. And you guys will thoroughly be blown away. This is great stuff, and it is my pleasure to have you all enjoy this. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Tony.
So, and we're happy to hear it now. Start talking with Jen. Actually, I had the pleasure of meeting Jen earlier this year at the Conscious Life Expo, and at one of the after-hours get-together kind of thing where people just hang out, talk, share ideas and cool stories going on. So it was a pleasant surprise seeing you come back in with our buddy Thunder here. So, and this is fun. This is going to be cool because I know you guys are the ipso facto are a lot of the movers and shakers behind the creations there. Where would you like to start? I mean, there's so much because I know even before the Thunder's technology, you're already employing your own stuff. That's where this meld sort of happens. So at this point, Jen, feel free to talk about whatever it is you do, what you want. Whatever.
Cool. Thanks. Greetings. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. My business partner and I started about 5 years ago in green technologies, addressing emissions reductions and fuel savings for our clients. And in our search for technologies that fit that order, we've come across so many different product lines, and we decided to put it in real-world applications, put the test to where the rubber meets the road, and see what pans out to be fact. As we know, laboratory testing and statistics are marketed to show one side of a result, but for us, it's real world. The results have to supersede all the variables in life, which in some applications can be much more challenging than others. So from there, we've been working in hydrogen on demand for commercial transportation, off-road vehicles, construction, mining. We are launching this year internationally. We're very excited for that with our hydrogen. We will be doing combined technologies, which will give us a greater impact and result, both for the environment and our client savings. So we are honored and very excited to launch some of these combined technologies here in the next few months. So just to give you a perspective of where we are at right now today, and in the next few weeks, we are launching Thunder's EMF technology in several different media venues, a couple of television stations, and through you guys, we'll be offering you guys and your listeners a very special package that can only be found at Universal Truth Evolution. In just a short while here, at the end of the show, you'll be able to go on to Universal Truth Evolution's website and click on the banner and order your special package deal for EMF protection and battery life extension.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very intriguing to see the reports we get back, especially in this community. They'll let you know if it don't work.
That is exactly what we do with each and every technology. So once they work, we take them to market. So here we go.
Yeah, definitely.
It's excellent, and we appreciate you guys having us as your, I guess, kind of the first outlet in sense for some of these technologies.
Absolutely.
At least here in the United States,
Yeah, exactly. In the United States, coming from the region, I'm like, oh well, everything's the first time for me. But yeah, we don't get a lot of cool stuff. Not first, anyways. But you're going to be able to find information on how to acquire this on our front page. So you can go there now during the show, or you can go there after the show. But we encourage you to listen. Don't get too excited too soon.
Yeah,
so stay with us for a little bit here and check back on our site.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some kind of link through Sceptre Radio Network too, obviously, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And make it easier for everyone here, because obviously we need your participation here, faithful Sceptre Radio Network listeners, and in this endeavor. It's going to be really cool to be able to pioneer some of these case studies.
Exactly.
I really am truly looking forward to hearing the feedback, just because, I just observing my own experiences with the product. It's pretty remarkable. It just really is. So when did you start getting involved with the holographic technology and Thunder's hologram?
Actually, I got involved with holographic technology several years ago, probably about a decade ago now. I have 3 compressed discs in my back, and Christmas Eve my back was swelling. But funny enough, I had a friend send me a new product that he had discovered, and it was ultimately a form of frequency, although not quite the same frequency, but the frequencies don't last, and the qualities, it is what it is. I can't complain, because I was walking that next day for Christmas. So
cool.
Much like acupuncture, once you experience it, you get the effects of what it does, whether or not you understand the technology.
Yeah.
But then again, with those health challenges led me to further investigation and trying different products and such. So again, having this ability to market technology such as EMF for, that kind of radiation right up against my head, I'm always on the phone.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal to me. And the YouTube videos showing the demonstration of how the EMF technology works on the phone will be posted on your site. That's a pretty dramatic result. So just knowing that there are more and more studies worldwide on the effects of this type of radiation and the use of cell phones and different electronics as they advance, they're starting to sing in unison. You're seeing a system of repetitive results here where there's definitely suspicion and confirmation that these are carcinogens that will harm us.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of unison, it actually is getting onto that time we unify with the break music. So we'll continue this discussion and go into this as deep as we can on the other side of the break. Thanks for listening.
You are listening to an episode of The Tom and Jerry Show. And now, your hosts, Tommy Hansen and Jerry Avalos.
Hey everybody, welcome back for our last little segment here, a little sprint to the finish line with our esteemed guests, Thunder Whitecloud and Jen Martinez here, talking about some groovy new technology that sounds almost too good to be true. So this is why we're asking you, the listeners, to help us prove that that's not the freaking case by, having a chance to be part of the case study here with some of these cool holograms. And real quick side note here, well, not really side note, because I know a lot of people might be kind of excited about this and kind of wondering, it's like, okay, they're holograms, but what do they look like? Do they have to be a certain type of hologram, or could it be like any image, or what's up with that?
The answer is yes. It is a specific, made to our specification code frequency hologram. I'm the only one with that type of straight. So yeah, it's unique.
Very cool. And so, with because I know a lot of
gum stickers don't work.
So I know obviously a lot of people are intrigued by the batteries and the gas. So, real quick, what are some of the things that the reduced emissions device does? What outlet? I know that obviously the gas, we talked a little about that, but I think we glanced a little bit over the emission part, which is what is one of the big things there, obviously. So,
if you don't mind, I'd like to take that one since the internal combustion engine has been my world for quite a while here.
Yeah, please do.
Ultimately, there's a correlation between the reduction of emissions coming from a vehicle or an engine and the fuel savings. There's a large percentage of pollution that is ultimately and simply unburnt fuel. So with our product line in hydrogen on demand systems, what that is a combustion enhancement product. And with a flame speed 100 times faster than fuel, what happens is in the combustion chamber, the fuel ignites and the hydrogen ignites behind it, burning any remnants of unburnt fuel from the initial ignition. So with a frequency that can render the toxins inert and therefore help the combustion chamber and the fuel be excited and more easily combusted, it too has the ultimate similar effect of having less unburnt fuel. And therefore the emissions is gone, not to mention frequencies, unlike hydrogen, can render a toxin inert whether it's burnt or not. So if it's coming out of the tailpipe, it is less harmful, if not harmful at all. But again, without totally making claims or statements that are blanketed, that is how it works in a very simple scientific form. It's improving or disabling the harmful toxins of a vehicle because they're inefficient.
Interesting.
So whether his technologies are distributed in a hologram, a physical product, a coaster that goes under beverages, pallets, jewelry, whatever the delivery system is, even text message, which is not like any other company even dealing in any kind of scalar energy or commonly known frequencies, including magnetics, they are not able to deliver their technologies via text message and make it sustainable. So that has been a very exciting aspect about his addition to our arsenal of tools in our mission to reduce emissions and save a lot of people a lot of money in what they have to spend anyway to do business or to live. So we truly are on the cutting edge of the energy efficiency revolution.
Very cool. And I think this is a fun chance for our audience to hear, once again, a practical application of the word scalar. How many times do we hear that? It's some kind of, nebulous, metaphor or loose kind of definition for some kind of abstruse psychic function that sometimes functions.
Or in relation to HARP. It's like,
or HARP, it's like, here, no, this is better than
it's energy. Energy doesn't have an evil or a good in it. It's energy. It's about how you utilize it. So yeah, I think this is something that it's very well played by the powers that be in terms of associating, helping you, in a sense, associate certain things with negative or good in terms of some form of programming. So when you hear the word scalar, your immediate association is something negative. Or for most who haven't been able to work with it or know it.
Or like I said, just kind of a fringe science or a fringe application of intuitive
that
stuff.
we don't really know that much about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's refreshing to hear that put in a practical usage terms here of these. That's why I think it's so intriguing about, like we talked about earlier with Thunder, about the whole entanglement or quantum tunneling effect that's going on here. So those scientists, physicists out there, it's just riddle the whole entanglement thing, okay? And then there you go. So it's very, very cool. So with the battery usage, so what's kind of going on there with the battery increase out, or the I don't want to say the better consumption, because it's almost like it doesn't really reduce.
Actually, it's better conductivity.
Okay.
Ultimately.
good word.
So you're losing less ions, is that it? Or how does it work?
For your homework assignment today, look up Ormus.
Well, and it's Ormus, and that's the assignment today. Look up Ormus, and I use the frequency of Ormus because it's an M state matter. It's a superconductor in room state, and I find it to be the most intriguing frequency of everything that I've ever dove into. So using the Ormus frequency, I'm able then to attach it to the lithium ion from the battery, and then convert the material inside because Ormus attracts Ormus through the air. We can then use the frequency and the Ormus to deliver the battery to go to a more rhodium and silver metallic state, absorbing the battery faster and then keeping it charged longer.
Intriguing.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so I did some homework while Thunder was talking there, and so I guess it's can be used as an acronym, but it's orbitally rearranged monatomic elements is one of the common, I guess, I don't know, I guess it's an acronym for that. So without battling on too much. But yeah, check it out. That just because I did your homework for you, it doesn't mean I know everything about it. So go check, go look it up. It looks like interesting stuff. And it's not the first time we've heard that expression of monatomic element, but here we have it, not something that's necessarily ingested, which I think is also, cool.
Yeah, we're taking in frequency, 200 pounds of it every day for the last decade. At the Ormus convention this last spring, one of the slides read, if we understand 10% of what Ormus is, it will be the greatest discovery of mankind. I concur. I think this is the most advanced technology mankind's ever seen, and it has Ormus attached to it. So that's why it's so amazing.
Very interesting. Let's talk a little bit about your offer. We kind of talked a little bit about it earlier in terms of basically an exclusive way, and an exclusive way in terms of where to get it. You can, just excuse me a little bit here because I'm getting a little bit of a head rush. But this is also fascinating. But Universal Proof Evolution has just launched, and basically, in conjunction with the launch, you're offering all of our listeners, all of Sceptre's listeners, basically a portal to find some exclusive deals on these products to test for themselves. We talked about the testing as well for the emissions. But in general, just talk a little bit about what your plans are for that and what listeners can expect to find on our site after the show.
Well, through ipso facto, we will be debuting new product lines exclusively through you, or give you and your listeners a very good head start and first access to a lot of our different product lines as they are launched. For today's special, and for the next, I believe, 24, 48 hours, we will be offering the battery life extender and the EMF protection via text message for $39.95. And that's over a 50% savings. So nice. That's to start, just to get you going. We will also be offering your listeners the opportunity to be case studies and participate in different trials and preliminary studies on different applications of the hologram frequencies as well. So for the launch of your show, we are offering your listeners the opportunity to register with us to be a case study for the fuel program. So ultimately, it's the fuel and emissions. We're looking for the smog tests before and after. We're looking for the year, make, model, some basic details about the vehicle as a baseline, and have them report in and document their findings of their use of these products. And all they have to do is put a hologram on their fuel tank, send us the information, and enjoy the benefits of fuel savings, getting further down the road for the same price, and they're not polluting the environment.
Yep.
It's a double win.
I heard some mentions about some, advantages for participating in this program in terms of you get a little bit of a reward, really, for reporting back. So you want to talk a little bit about what's in it for the participants here?
Well, we like surprises and presents and things like that. So we are going to actually be offering for the participants in our fuel program, offering additional frequency holograms for various applications. So if for full participants, there'll be 5 free holograms, and for those that only do the smog analysis, there'll be 3 free holograms.
Right. And
we're going to have them go to the website to figure out what it is. So once they participate, they'll know what their new gifted frequencies will be.
Oh, really? That's fascinating. Okay.
You know, if we don't know the results yet, why would they know what their gift is?
Oh, that's true. It's kind of like Christmas. Have it been good or have it been bad, huh?
Hey, we have the win-win motto here.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Everybody wins. None.
That's great. All right. Good stuff, guys.
Cool. Yeah, and so, and that will be something that, as we mentioned there, with basically if you volunteer to be an active participant, we can contact you for later stuff to demo these kind of products too, because it's good to have a pool of testers for data resources, because it was one of the things that one of the stories I was talking about Thunder, different times about the different testing, because they do their own testing just on the fly or wherever, but hearing some of the stories like about the EPA one with the truck. Yeah, so do you want to talk about the truck actually, because that's kind of a fun one.
The truck. Somebody told me the other day that we had a test done, and that was done only on. That's just one truck. I go, well, yeah, but wait a minute. That was a $12,000 EPA test. It's not a $50 mom and pop smog shop test. This was done in a lab facilitated by the top smog instructor in North America. When I go out and do homework, of course, I take it to the limit and find the best testing facility. I went out and set a world record. It was a record that for 30 years, nothing more than 3% was reduced in pollution, and we crushed it 40% our first 2 tries. They were blown away. I've done other tests with the cell phone radiation. A lot of people have brought similar looking technology to mine. It's been attempted to be counterfeited over the years, I guess. What happened was they would take these tests in, they'd have them test for EMF radiation reduction, and they told us at Intertech that if we did a 10% reduction, we're heroes and considered billionaires. We crushed it out of the hole at 40% our first try, and then I had to sit down and show them how they didn't correctly analyze the technology. They were using conventional wisdom, and on our second test, and we scored a 96% of reduction. The problem with what our technology is that it's so advanced, we don't have the facilities out there to measure. So I make it simple. I show people the practical side of what our technology does, and you can see, firsthand. For instance, you threw me a curveball the other night when you brought your friend's big truck by the other day.
Yeah, that's Stephen Kelly, by the way.
That was a big truck, and I remember, looking at that one, going, okay, this one's gonna be a pretty heavy, polluting, smelling truck. This was a F-350.
F-350,
yeah. It was
yeah, it was a big one.
And it was pretty. It was running kind of rough on top of it. It took him a quarter tank of gas to get here and an eighth to get home.
Eighth to get back. That was a report we got back. That's from Stephen D. Kelly. I'm sure a lot of our audience is familiar with Stephen and his scientific know-how too.
Yeah.
He's a pretty observant kind of guy in relation to data. So that was really remarkable.
But the smell out of the exhaust was, 5 minutes?
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
I held my phone next to your gas tank. That's all we did.
Yeah. And we definitely saw the water.
The water trickle out.
The water trail. It actually left a trail as it was riding off.
That's just H2O. That's water vapors. It's wet. There's no more. You can put You can put a cigarette lighter to a window and count flame tips, and then hold our telephone's technology next to the window. And it's like a magic trick almost, because more flame tips appear. But what you're really seeing is just the reflection of the insulation factor that's now attaching itself like think of it like an invisible 3-inch insulation around your home. That has tremendous applications, in all aspects, electronics, cooling, of course. That's near. It's very near.
Very cool. And so yeah, these are exciting sounding tests. So if you want to have a chance to do that, make sure to click on the various links on Sceptre, Universal Truth Evolution, and participate, or just flat out buy it if you're just like, all right, I'll fork over the $40 I spent more on freaking margaritas last weekend. Might as well, right? So yeah, because honestly, it'll probably save you some money. I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, just from what I've seen, the little demonstrations I've had a chance to see here, it's pretty remarkable. And the data keeps rolling in. So
you guys will have a chance to become part of history in the making. Pretty
much. And so that is why this is almost like this little variation of our show, because it's very rare do we have a product. I mean, because all of them technically are to promote a product like a book, but it's like very rarely does it turn into like, yeah, check this out. Check this one out, and check this one out, We
get it straight from the horse's mouth, too. There's no in-between here. This is the point of origin, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
it's like, sorry for sounding too much like an infomercial here, but it's like, damn if it don't work. And it's like, and this is all the culmination of everyone's research into that unknown aspect of science, quote unquote. Well, it sounds like someone knows a good freaking direction. And so it's headed that way. So it's really cool to be right here on the crest of that wave. So I guess, is that what you guys are really excited about these days? The reduced emission devices, the battery devices, anything else?
From ipso facto's perspective, we're excited to be able to take these great products and technologies and give ourselves as well as your listeners the opportunity to actually experience it. So it's much easier than selling products and explaining technologies rather than just having you experience it and believe and enjoy the benefits of it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Absolutely.
So I don't know about you, Thunder. You've got grand visions of changing this world, and we're so excited to be a part of it and help launch it and market it. So,
yeah, actually, we're almost out of time here anyway. So, yeah, is there any last marks you want to put on the record here, Thunder, before we start closing it down?
Just close it off with AC/DC.
Yeah, Thunder.
Yeah, I'll kick back and answer questions, whatever whenever the technology calls for it. But I spend my days doing what I do best, and that's writing algorithm codes that manipulate matter.
Awesome. That's
kind of lame,
yeah.
But
it's like, why watch Fringe if you can be Fringe, huh?
If you can be on Fringe,
live it.
Big Bang Theory,
live it.
Yeah. So before we finish up here, I just want to remind you guys again to go to universaltruthevolution.com. Obviously, check out Sceptre 2 because you're probably already there. So look around; you'll probably see a banner there as well. But yeah, universaltruthevolution.com. That is our new website, by the way. We're gonna. Well, actually, on like Wednesday this week, we will have had a little bit of a discussion about what kind of transpired to got us to reboot Universal Truth Evolution, which is Jerry's old flagship, I should say. So yeah, it's been interesting times. There's a lot more in the future. Stay tuned and.
All right, so that is another edition of the Tommy and Jerry Show on Sceptre Radio Network. Head on to all the groovy URLs we've been spinning out here, and don't forget to do your homework. And I'm sure we will be back with Thunder and Jen and company many times. So rock on, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you for joining us for more original Sceptre Radio programming, where listening uncovers the world that's been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. For questions or comments, email us at scepteradionetwork@gmail.com or visit us on the web at www.sceptre.net. www.scepteradionetwork.com. Until next time.